In the vast expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy, a lone spacecraft drifted through the inky darkness. Its silver hull gleamed under the distant starlight, a stark contrast to the endless void surrounding it. Inside the vessel, 21-year-old Lena Novak sat at the helm, her eyes fixed on the console before her. Lena was an explorer, driven by an insatiable curiosity to uncover the secrets of the universe. She had left Earth years ago, armed with nothing but her wits, her trusty ship, and an unyielding determination to make a name for herself. And now, here she was, light years from home, chasing a faint distress signal that had caught her attention. The signal emanated from an uncharted planet, a world that had never been explored by humans before. Lena's heart raced with excitement as she approached the mysterious orb. She had always dreamed of making a groundbreaking discovery, and perhaps this was her chance. As her ship descended through the planet's atmosphere, Lena marveled at the sight before her. The world was a tapestry of vibrant colors, swirling oranges, deep purples, and shimmering blues. But amidst the beauty, she could see the scars of a civilization long gone. Crumbling towers and shattered monuments dotted the landscape, silent testaments to a forgotten history. Lena landed her ship on the outskirts of what appeared to be the remains of a once great city. She donned her exploration gear, checked her equipment, and stepped out onto the alien soil. The air was thick and heavy, tinged with the scent of decay and the faint hint of something she couldn't quite identify. Cautiously, Lena made her way through the ruins, her eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of life or clues to what had happened here. The buildings were unlike anything she had ever seen before, towering spires of gleaming metal and shimmering glass, now reduced to rubble and dust. As she delved deeper into the heart of the city, Lena stumbled upon a massive structure that seemed to have withstood the ravages of time better than the rest. It was a temple of sorts, with intricate carvings etched into its walls and a sense of ancient power emanating from within. Lena's curiosity got the better of her, and she ventured inside, her heart pounding with anticipation. The interior of the temple was dimly lit, with shafts of light filtering through cracks in the ceiling. Shadows danced along the walls, casting an eerie atmosphere over the sacred space. At the far end of the temple, Lena's eyes fell upon a sight that took her breath away. There, nestled in an alcove, was a cryopod, a sleek, metallic capsule that seemed to hum with energy. She approached it cautiously, her mind racing with possibilities. Who or what could be inside? Was this the source of the distress signal? Lena's fingers trembled as she reached out to touch the smooth surface of the pod. A faint glow emanated from within, beckoning her closer. With a deep breath, Lena activated the release mechanism on the cryopod. A hiss of air escaped as the lid slowly opened, revealing its contents. Lena gasped, her eyes widening in disbelief. Inside the pod lay a young woman, her skin pale and flawless, her hair a shimmering silver. She was unlike any being Lena had ever encountered before, ethereal and otherworldly. But what struck Lena the most was the sense of familiarity that washed over her, as if she had known this woman all her life. As Lena stood there, transfixed by the sight before her, the woman's eyes fluttered open, revealing irises of molten gold. Their gazes locked, and in that moment, Lena knew that her life would never be the same again. The discovery of the mysterious woman in the cryopod marked the beginning of a journey that would unravel the secrets of Lena's past and shape the future of the galaxy itself. Little did she know, the ruins of this alien world held the key to her destiny, and the woman before her would guide her towards a truth that would shatter everything she thought she knew. With a mixture of trepidation and excitement, Lena helped the woman out of the cryopod, her mind buzzing with questions. Who was she? What had happened to her people? And why did Lena feel such a deep connection to her? As the two stood face to face, the alien woman spoke, her voice soft and melodic. "I am Azalea, princess of the Xanrian Empire. And you, Lena Novak, are more important than you could ever imagine." Lena's heart skipped a beat at the mention of her name. How did this woman know who she was? The question swirled in her mind, but one thing was certain. Her life had just taken a turn towards the extraordinary. Together, Lena and Azalea stepped out of the temple and into the ruins of the ancient city, ready to unravel the mysteries that lay ahead. The discovery of the Xanrian princess was only the beginning, and Lena knew that she would stop at nothing to uncover the truth about her own origins and the fate of this long-lost civilization. As they made their way back to Lena's ship, the explorer couldn't shake the feeling that she was standing on the precipice of something profound. The universe had brought her to this moment, to this planet, and to Azalea for a reason, and she was determined to find out what that reason was. With a newfound sense of purpose, Lena prepared to embark on the greatest adventure of her life. The discovery of the alien ruins and the awakening of Princess Azalea had set in motion a chain of events that would reshape the galaxy and redefine what it meant to be human. Little did Lena know, the challenges that lay ahead would test her in ways she never could have imagined. But with Azalea by her side and the strength of her own spirit, she was ready to face whatever the universe had in store for her. And so, as the two women boarded Lena's ship and set a course for the stars, a new chapter in the story of humanity began to unfold, one that would be written in the annals of history as the tale of a 21-year-old explorer who discovered her true destiny among the ruins of an alien world. As Lena's ship soared through the starlit expanse, the young explorer found herself consumed by thoughts of the enigmatic woman she had discovered in the cryopod. Azalea, the Xanrian princess, sat beside her, her golden eyes fixed on the vast emptiness beyond the viewport. For hours, they traveled in silence, each lost in their own contemplations. Lena's mind raced with questions, her curiosity burning brighter with every passing moment. Finally, unable to contain herself any longer, she turned to Azalea and spoke. "Who are you really?" Lena asked, her voice soft but filled with determination. "And what happened to your people?" Azalea's gaze shifted to meet Lena's, a flicker of ancient sorrow dancing within her molten irises. She took a deep breath, as if steeling herself for the tale she was about to unfold. "My people, the Xanrians, were once a thriving civilization," Azalea began, her voice melodic and haunting. "We had mastered the secrets of the universe, harnessing the power of the stars themselves. But our greatest achievement was also our downfall." Lena leaned forward, captivated by the princess's words. She watched as Azalea's delicate fingers traced patterns on the console before her, as if drawing strength from the cool metal. "We were not alone in the galaxy," Azalea continued, her eyes distant. "There was another species, the Vorlons, who sought to dominate all life. They saw our advancements as a threat to their supremacy, and so they unleashed a war upon us like none other." Lena's heart ached at the pain that laced Azalea's voice. She could only imagine the horrors the Xanrian people had endured at the hands of the Vorlons. "The war was brutal and relentless," Azalea whispered, her gaze fixed on the stars beyond. "The Vorlons possessed technology that even we could not match. They burned our cities, slaughtered our people, and reduced our once great civilization to ashes." Lena reached out instinctively, her hand coming to rest on Azalea's arm in a gesture of comfort. The princess's skin was cool to the touch, yet Lena could feel the thrum of life pulsing beneath the surface. "How did you survive?" Lena asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Azalea turned to face her, a flicker of determination sparking in her golden eyes. "I was placed in cryo-sleep, along with a select few of our people, in the hopes that one day we might rise again and reclaim what was lost." Lena's mind raced with the implications of Azalea's words. If the Xanrians had been wiped out by the Vorlons, then what did that mean for the rest of the galaxy? Were they all in danger? As if sensing her thoughts, Azalea leaned closer, her gaze intensifying. "But there is more, Lena. Something that even I did not fully understand until I awakened and saw you standing before me." Lena's breath caught in her throat, her heart pounding in anticipation. "What do you mean?" Azalea's hand reached out, her fingers brushing against Lena's cheek with a gentleness that belied her strength. "You, Lena Novik, are not entirely human. Within you lies the power of the Xanrian people, a genetic legacy that was carefully crafted long ago." Lena's eyes widened in disbelief, her mind reeling from the revelation. "I don't understand," she whispered, her voice trembling. "How can that be?" Azalea's gaze softened, a mixture of pride and sorrow shimmering within her golden irises. "You are my daughter, Lena, genetically engineered to bridge the gap between our species, to possess the strengths of both humans and Xanrians." Lena felt as if the ground had been ripped out from beneath her feet. Her entire identity, everything she had ever known about herself, shattered in the face of Azalea's words. She stumbled back, her mind struggling to process the enormity of the truth. "But why?" Lena asked, her voice cracking with emotion. "Why create me? What purpose do I serve?" Azalea rose to her feet, her presence filling the small confines of the ship. She reached out, taking Lena's hands in her own, her touch both comforting and electrifying. "You, my daughter, are the key to our salvation," Azalea whispered, her voice filled with conviction. "Within you lies the power to unlock the secrets of our past, to harness the abilities that lie dormant within your very cells. Together, we will stop the Vorlons and restore balance to the galaxy." Lena's heart raced, her mind grappling with the weight of her newfound destiny. She had always dreamed of making a difference, of leaving her mark on the universe. But never in her wildest imaginings had she considered that she might be the very catalyst for change. As she looked into Azalea's eyes, Lena saw a reflection of herself, a being caught between two worlds, burdened with a responsibility she had never asked for. And yet, deep within her soul, she felt a flicker of something else, a sense of purpose, a calling that had always been there, waiting to be awakened. With a deep breath, Lena squared her shoulders, her resolve hardening like steel. She knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, but she also knew that she could not turn away from the truth of who she was. "I'm ready," Lena said, her voice steady and strong. "Whatever it takes, I will stand with you, Mother. Together, we will face the Vorlons and reclaim what was lost." Azalea's smile was radiant, filled with pride and love. She drew Lena into an embrace, their hearts beating as one. In that moment, Lena felt a connection unlike any she had ever known, a bond forged in the crucible of destiny. As they pulled apart, Azalea's eyes sparkled with determination. "Then let us begin, my daughter. The galaxy awaits, and we have much work to do." Lena nodded, her own resolve mirroring that of her newfound mother. Together, they turned their gazes to the stars, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, the awakening of Lena Novik's true identity set in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the course of the galaxy. With Azalea by her side, the young explorer embarked on a journey of self-discovery and purpose, determined to unravel the secrets of her past and forge a new future for all. Little did they know, the Vorlons were already aware of their movements, their dark machinations threatening to consume all in their path. But Lena and Azalea, united by the bonds of blood and destiny, were ready to face the coming storm, their hearts filled with the unshakable belief that together they could overcome any obstacle. As the ship hurtled through the void, carrying the hopes and dreams of a lost civilization, Lena felt a sense of exhilaration coursing through her veins. She had always known that she was meant for something greater, and now, at last, she understood the true nature of her calling. With Azalea's guidance and the power that lay dormant within her, Lena knew that she would stop at nothing to protect the galaxy from the Vorlon threat. And so, as the stars streaked by in a blaze of light, the awakening of Lena Novik gave rise to a new era, one that would be written in the annals of history as the tale of a daughter's love, a mother's sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. As the days turned into weeks, Lena found herself immersed in a world of training and discovery. Under Azalea's guidance, she began to tap into the latent abilities that lay dormant within her, the power of her Xanrian heritage slowly awakening. Deep within the heart of an abandoned Xanrian outpost, Lena stood in the center of a vast training chamber, her body poised and ready. Azalea circled her, her golden eyes assessing every movement, every breath. "Focus, Lena," Azalea instructed, her voice echoing through the cavernous space. "Feel the energy flowing through you, the connection to the universe itself." Lena closed her eyes, reaching out with her senses. She could feel the hum of life around her, the pulsing of the stars above, and the whispers of the ancient technology that surrounded them. It was as if a veil had been lifted from her mind, revealing a world she had never known existed. With a deep breath, Lena extended her hand, concentrating on the objects before her. A series of metallic spheres, each the size of a small moon, hovered in the air, their surfaces shimmering with an otherworldly light. "Now let the power flow through you," Azalea guided, her voice soft but firm. "Bend the spheres to your will. Shape them as you desire." Lena focused her mind, imagining the spheres shifting and molding like clay in her hands. At first, nothing happened, the objects remaining stubbornly in place. But as she pushed harder, her brow furrowed in concentration, she felt a flicker of something deep within her, a spark of power that had always been there, waiting to be ignited. Suddenly, the spheres began to move, swirling and dancing in the air, as if caught in an invisible whirlwind. Lena's eyes snapped open, her heart racing with exhilaration, as she watched the objects respond to her every thought, her every desire. Azalea smiled, pride shining in her eyes. "Well done, my daughter. You are progressing faster than I could have ever hoped." Lena grinned, the thrill of her newfound abilities coursing through her veins. "I never knew I was capable of such things," she marveled, her voice filled with wonder. Azalea placed a hand on her shoulder, her touch comforting and reassuring. "You have always had the potential within you, Lena. It just needed the right guidance to be unleashed." As the training continued, Lena found herself growing stronger and more confident with each passing day. She learned to harness the energy of the stars, to manipulate matter on a molecular level, and to tap into the vast network of knowledge that lay hidden within the Xanrian archives. But even as she reveled in her newfound power, Lena couldn't shake the sense of unease that lurked at the edges of her consciousness. The Vorlon threat loomed ever closer, their dark presence a constant reminder of the danger that lay ahead. It was during one of their training sessions that Azalea revealed the true extent of the Vorlon menace. With a wave of her hand, she brought forth a holographic display, the image of a massive, pulsating ship filling the air before them. "This is the heart of the Vorlon fleet," Azalea explained, her voice grave. "A dreadnought of unimaginable power, capable of destroying entire star systems with a single blast." Lena's eyes widened in horror, the magnitude of the challenge they faced hitting her like a physical blow. "How can we possibly stand against such a thing?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Azalea's gaze hardened, a flicker of determination sparking within her golden irises. "There is a way," she said, her words measured and heavy with meaning. "An ancient Xanrian weapon, long thought lost, that could turn the tide of the war." Lena leaned forward, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. "What kind of weapon?" Azalea waved her hand once more, and the image of the Vorlon dreadnought vanished, replaced by a shimmering crystalline structure that seemed to pulse with an inner light. "The Nexus," Azalea breathed, her voice filled with reverence. "A device that can harness the power of a star, focusing it into a beam of pure energy. With it, we could strike at the heart of the Vorlon fleet, crippling their advance and giving the galaxy a chance to fight back." Lena's mind raced with the possibilities, the weight of their mission pressing down upon her shoulders. She knew that finding the Nexus would be no easy task, that the Vorlons would stop at nothing to prevent them from acquiring such a powerful weapon. But as she looked into Azalea's eyes, seeing the unwavering belief that shone within them, Lena felt a surge of determination rising within her. She had come too far, discovered too much about herself and her destiny, to turn back now. Then we'll find it, Lena declared, her voice ringing with conviction. Whatever it takes, we'll find the Nexus and use it to stop the Vorlons once and for all. Azalea smiled, pride and love mingling in her expression. I knew you would say that, she murmured, her hand coming to rest on Lena's cheek. Together, my daughter, we will save the galaxy. And so, with renewed purpose and determination, Lena threw herself into her training, pushing herself to the limits of her abilities and beyond. She knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, that the Vorlons would stop at nothing to prevent them from achieving their goal. But as she stood there, the power of the Xanrian legacy thrumming through her veins, Lena knew that she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With Azalea by her side and the strength of her own convictions, she would unleash the full potential of her powers and forge a new future for the galaxy. As the training montage unfolded, Lena's skills grew by leaps and bounds. She learned to wield the elements themselves, summoning forth great gouts of flame and bolts of lightning with a mere thought. She honed her telekinetic abilities, moving objects with a precision and grace that defied belief. And through it all, Azalea watched with pride and wonder, marveling at the incredible progress her daughter had made in such a short time. She knew that Lena was special, that the power within her was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen before. But even as they reveled in Lena's growth and the hope it brought for the future, both mother and daughter knew that the true test was yet to come. The Vorlons were out there, their dark fleet advancing with every passing moment, and only by unleashing the full might of Lena's abilities would they stand a chance of stopping them. With grim determination and unwavering resolve, Lena and Azalea prepared themselves for the final confrontation, knowing that the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. And as the stars burned bright above them, they knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, united by the bonds of love and the unbreakable spirit of the Xanrian legacy. The vastness of space stretched out before them, an endless expanse of stars and darkness. Lena stood on the bridge of the Xanrian warship, her eyes fixed on the viewscreen that dominated the far wall. Beside her, Azalea's presence was a comforting anchor, a reminder of the strength they shared. They had come so far, fought so hard to reach this moment. The Nexus, the ancient Xanrian weapon that held the key to their victory, thrummed with power beneath their feet, its energy pulsing through the very fabric of the ship. But even as they stood on the precipice of their destiny, Lena couldn't shake the sense of unease that coiled in the pit of her stomach. The Vorlons were out there, their dark fleet massing on the edges of the system, ready to strike at any moment. Suddenly, the view screen flickered to life, the image of a Vorlon dreadnought filling the air before them. Its hull was a twisted mass of organic and mechanical components, pulsing with an eerie, sickly light. And at its heart, a figure cloaked in shadows, its eyes burning with a malevolent intelligence. "Surrender the Nexus," the Vorlon leader hissed, its voice a grating whisper that seemed to crawl beneath Lena's skin, "or face the consequences of your defiance." Lena felt Azalea's hand on her shoulder, a silent gesture of support and encouragement. She took a deep breath, drawing strength from the power that thrummed within her, the legacy of her Xanrian heritage. "We will never surrender," Lena declared, her voice ringing with conviction. "The Nexus belongs to the people of the galaxy, not to the likes of you." The Vorlon leader's eyes narrowed, a flicker of anger sparking within their depths. "Then you have sealed your fate," it snarled, its voice dripping with venom. "Prepare to be destroyed." With a burst of blinding light, the Vorlon fleet surged forward, their weapons blazing with deadly intent. The Xanrian warship shuddered under the onslaught, its shields straining to absorb the impact. Lena's heart raced as she watched the battle unfold, the might of the Vorlon armada bearing down upon them with relentless fury. She knew that they were outmatched, that the Vorlons' technology far surpassed their own. But she also knew that they had something the Vorlons could never understand: the power of hope, the unbreakable spirit of those who fought for a better future. With a fierce cry, Lena reached out with her mind, tapping into the Nexus energy and channeling it through her very being. She felt the power surge within her, a white-hot flame that burned away all doubt and fear. And then, with a blinding flash of light, the Nexus unleashed its fury upon the Vorlon fleet. A beam of pure energy, brighter than 1,000 suns, tore through the darkness of space, slamming into the heart of the Vorlon dreadnought with devastating force. The ship exploded in a massive fireball, its twisted hull shattering into 1,000,000 pieces, and in that moment, the tide of the battle turned, the remaining Vorlon ships faltering in the face of the Nexus might. Lena felt a surge of exhilaration coursing through her veins, the thrill of victory mingling with the relief of knowing that they had struck a blow against the darkness. But even as she reveled in their triumph, she knew that the fight was far from over. The Vorlon leader's image flickered back to life on the view screen, its face contorted with rage and hatred. "You think you have won," it spat, its voice dripping with venom. "You have only delayed the inevitable. We will never stop, never rest until the galaxy is ours." Lena met the Vorlon's gaze, her eyes blazing with determination. "And we will never stop fighting," she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. "As long as there are those who stand against you, as long as there is hope in the hearts of the people, we will never surrender." With a final, defiant roar, the Vorlon leader's image vanished, the view screen going dark. And in that moment, Lena knew that the true battle had only just begun. She turned to Azalea, her mother's face a mask of pride and love. "We did it," Lena whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "We struck a blow against the Vorlons, showed them that they are not invincible." Azalea nodded, her golden eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "You were magnificent, my daughter," she murmured, her hand cupping Lena's cheek. "The galaxy owes you a debt that can never be repaid." But even as they stood there, basking in the glow of their victory, Lena knew that the road ahead would be long and hard. The Vorlons were far from defeated, and their thirst for domination would only grow in the face of this setback. She knew that she would have to be strong, to stand firm in the face of the darkness that threatened to consume them all. But with Azalea by her side and the power of the Nexus at her command, Lena knew that she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, as the stars burned bright above them, and the Xanarian warship sailed onward into the unknown, Lena and Azalea prepared themselves for the battles to come, their hearts filled with the unshakable belief that together they could overcome any obstacle and forge a new future for the galaxy. The final confrontation had been won, but the war was far from over. And as Lena stood there, her eyes fixed on the endless expanse of space before her, she knew that she would never rest until the Vorlon threat was vanquished once and for all. For she was Lena Novak, daughter of Azalea, heir to the Xanarian legacy, and she would stop at nothing to protect the galaxy she called home, no matter the cost. In the aftermath of the battle, the galaxy held its collective breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The Vorlon fleet had been dealt a devastating blow, their dreadnought destroyed, and their forces scattered to the winds. But Lena knew that this was only the beginning, that the true fight for the future was just getting started. As she stood on the bridge of the Xanarian warship, her eyes fixed on the stars that stretched out before her, Lena couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the incredible journey that had brought her to this moment. She had started out as just a simple explorer, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to uncover the secrets of the universe. But now, she found herself at the center of a conflict that would determine the fate of the entire galaxy. Beside her, Azalea's presence was a constant source of strength and comfort, a reminder of the incredible bond they shared. Lena still marveled at the truth of her heritage, at the fact that she was not just human, but also part of an ancient and powerful alien race. It was a lot to take in, a lot to come to terms with. But with Azalea's guidance and the power of the Nexus at her command, Lena knew that she was ready to embrace her destiny and become the leader the galaxy needed. As they set course for the heart of the galaxy, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of a much larger story. The The Vorlons had been defeated for now, but she knew that they would not rest until they had achieved their goal of total domination. And then there were the other races out there, the countless civilizations that had been caught in the crossfire of this war. Lena knew that she had a responsibility to them, to use her power and her influence to help rebuild what had been lost and forge a new future for all. But even as she grappled with the weight of her newfound responsibilities, Lena knew that she was not alone. She had Azalea by her side, a mother who loved her and believed in her with every fiber of her being. And she had the Xanrian people, a civilization that had been through so much and yet remained unbroken, ready to stand with her and fight for the future they all believed in. And so, as the stars streaked by outside the viewport and the hum of the ship's engines filled the air, Lena turned to Azalea and smiled, her eyes shining with determination and hope. "We've come so far," she said softly, her voice filled with emotion. "And we still have so far to go. But I know that together, we can do this. We can build a better future for the galaxy, one where all races can live in peace and harmony." Azalea nodded, her golden eyes shimmering with pride and love. "I have no doubt of that, my daughter," she replied, her voice firm and unwavering. "You have shown me the true strength and resilience of the human spirit, and I know that with you leading the way, there is nothing we cannot achieve." Lena felt a surge of warmth and gratitude filling her heart, a sense of purpose and belonging that she had never known before. She knew that the journey ahead would be filled with challenges and uncertainties, that there would be times when she would doubt herself and her abilities. But she also knew that with Azalea by her side and the power of the Nexus at her command, she had everything she needed to succeed. And so, as the warship sailed onward into the unknown, carrying them towards a new era of hope and possibility, Lena and Azalea stood side by side, ready to face whatever lay ahead. They were mother and daughter, human and Xanrian, two halves of a greater whole. And together, they would stop at nothing to protect the galaxy they called home and build a brighter future for all. As the stars burned bright above them, and the endless expanse of space stretched out before them, Lena knew that this was only the beginning of a much larger story, one that would be told for generations to come. And she was ready to take her place at the center of it all, to become the leader the galaxy needed and forge a new path forward for all. For she was Lena Novak, daughter of Azalea, heir to the Xanrian legacy, and she would stop at nothing to make her mark on the universe and leave a lasting legacy of hope and peace for all who came after her.